Dr. Yatin Mehta, Chairman of Medanta Institute of Critical Care, is joining us on the broadcast. Good evening, Dr. Mehta. Good to have you with us here on Mirror Now. There are, of course, a lot of FAQs on the new variant. Primary among them is on the issue of how will it be detected. As of now, the centre believes that the currently available RT-PCR tests are good enough. What is the information that you would like to share with our viewers on this? That can it escape the RT-PCR test, or are they good enough and robust enough to detect the Omicron variant as well, should anybody get infected with it?
Prita, that's a very appropriate question. Basically, what the RT-PCR is supposed to do, it detects several proteins in the virus. And if there is a dropout of S protein, then that is actually reasonably confirmatory test for the presence of the Omicron.
Yes.
So actually, it may be easier. It's not mandatory because the genomic facilities are limited in India. Obviously, genomic sequencing samples will be sent. But till it is done, if S protein is dropped, that means it is very likely that it is Omicron. So it is actually possibly easier to diagnose it than the other variants.
Okay, possibly easier to diagnose and detect than other variants. The other issue, of course, the centre is now focused on two things, and the advisories to the states have also gone on two major issues. One, to ramp up testing, because obviously things have slowed down. Let's face it, with the numbers declining, the systems across board have all slowed down, whether it is the testing, tracing, or the vaccination in certain cases. So on these two issues, the centre now has advised the states to ramp up. Is there anything more that you want to add to it, in order to ensure that the ground level preparedness is thorough in this country?
See, we should plan in the next couple of months to vaccinate everybody. And as many people should get the second shot of vaccine as possible, because at the moment, from the existent knowledge, we know that vaccine will give protection against severity of the disease. So at the moment, vaccination and COVID-appropriate behavior are the only two major things which we can do to prevent the spread of it if it comes to India.
Yes,
so
Doctor,
if you go to the market, you see nobody is wearing masks. I mean, we people have completely let it go. People are probably exhausted. But I think we must stick it out. Until something new happens, we must have exercise COVID-appropriate behavior, despite in addition to the vaccination.
Yes, absolutely. That is non-negotiable for each one of us. We need to do our bit by maintaining the COVID-appropriate behavior and the discipline. Like you said, the COVID fatigue has set in, and therefore it is a challenge once again now, to buckle up, to face any impending challenge because of the new variant. Stay on with us, Dr. Mehta. I'm coming back to you. There's the other aspect that we are tracking now on the issue of should India ban flights from the affected nations, from the risk nations, those countries that already have Omicron cases. So with the cases spreading rapidly across the world, states have already started raising concerns over this issue. Two states in particular, Delhi and Maharashtra, that were the worst affected during the first and the second waves, were the first to raise concerns, saying, let's ban the flights coming from the at-risk nations. Now, the state governments of both Delhi and Maharashtra has urged the central government to immediately stop the flights. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal says that the centre must not delay any further. Maharashtra CM Uddhav Thackeray has said that international flights must stop from those countries, and the state must receive information of passengers returning from foreign countries. So, Dr. Mehta, on this point, again, this is an issue of, a fine balance. And India, interestingly, has just about started opening out. We have started opening out. International travel was supposed to open out fully by mid-December. Somehow, do you think that brakes will have to be applied on it? Especially in dealing with those countries that have reported cases. How do we go about this? There are two states, at least, as of now, who believe, let's just completely stop travel to these countries to and fro.
From the worst are the first ones to advise of which flights to stop. I think stopping the flights is not advised by any public health body or public health expert. It does not solve the problem. It buys you some time till you put your systems in order. Now, for Japan or UK or Australia, it's easy to do it because they are sea-bound, completely the islands. India, it is very difficult to stop everything. Bangladesh is also one of the affected countries. So you cannot seal all the borders and completely. See, economy is recovering. We have to be honest. We have to, continue both the activities. So sealing the flights from there is not an idea, right idea. What government has done is the right thing. That from the affected countries, they have said that self-quarantine for 7 days. I would only, and testing on arrival as well as departure from their parent country. But I would have thought it would be better probably to put them under institutional quarantine for a week from affected countries, because that is totally manageable and totally audited. While person is for self-quarantine, you don't know how much discipline they will exercise when people from abroad come to visit their families and all that.
Yes.
So I think government should say 7 days of institutional quarantine. That's my opinion.
Are you saying for all international passengers or only affected countries?
No, only affected countries.
Okay, so that's a liberal point of view, and perhaps a more sensible one from the argument that you are making, that the world has to go on, life has to go on, businesses must survive. Putting the brakes on one area will not help. From past experience, Dr. Mehta, we have seen that despite those measures, the transmissibility of the virus, was quite intense, at least in the second wave. Are you drawing from that experience when you say this? What are the lessons, if at all we have to prepare for a third wave, God forbid, you would say, if you can give us 2 or 3 points on that?
See, second wave, first wave, India handled it very well. I must say, second wave, we all failed. Central government, state government, and the public at large. So we were completely caught on the wrong foot and unprepared. So I think we should learn from there. Now we have enough oxygen supplies. We have enough medicine supplies. We have learned about the therapies, which we were learning by a hit and trial method. So infrastructure is much better geared. And also, I think the public servants, the bureaucrats also now should tighten up their belts, because they performed some point of time, they performed quite well. So the surveillance, the auditing, and the follow-up of all these patients who are positive, or their contacts and all, should be traced quite aggressively, and they should be implemented, the quarantine should be implemented quite strictly. So that's the only saving grace, and vaccination should be done to all.
Saying that the state government, since we came to you on that point, these two state governments are taking the easy way out to ban flights, because that sort of reduces the burden on them. Ultimately, the government of the day will have to do their bit in order to ensure compliance, in order to ensure that there is implementation of whatever guidelines or rules that are set in place, Dr. Mehta.
Absolutely. See, the only stopping the flights only buys you time to prepare your infrastructure, to get ready for the onslaught if it happens. So that we should get on anyways with what we need to do. And see, if you look at the map of the world, it has happened in Europe, it has happened in Botswana, South Africa, Australia, China, Bangladesh, Brazil. So every continent is affected. You can't stop all these flights. I mean, yes, but this quarantine should be, and the testing should be implemented very strictly. We have to do that.
Dr. Mehta, I appreciate your joining us and giving us clarity on these issues. Of course, there will be a lot of queries and a lot of apprehensions around this new variant. The idea is to be well informed, and that's what we're trying to do here on Mirror Now. Keep our viewers informed through experts like Dr. Yatin Mehta, who's giving us a clear idea on what should be done. On the point of caution, there are certain things that we need to do, but we do not need to panic. There is no need for panic or paranoia. All we need to do is maintain the COVID-appropriate behavior and follow the guidelines, whatever comes our way. WHO guidelines, of course, are already there on the online for us to check what are the new studies and research that has come up. As of now, Dr. Mehta, last word, if you're still there with us, on the transmissibility and the severity of the virus. Is there anything that you have gathered which our viewers can benefit from?
See, now, Aprida, actually the evidence is very limited because it's a very new disease, the variant. So the enough evidence is not there, but mathematical models have shown that this is much more transmissible than the other variants. Then that Delta variant, for instance. Okay, that's a given, and that will be proven, I'm sure, in the days to come or weeks to come. Regarding the severity of the illness, some people were expecting it to be more severe, but if you get the data from South Africa, the physicians who have been treating it, including Dr. Kotze, who is the president of the Medical Association, who is a general practitioner, according to them, the severity is not so much. Hardly any patients were hospitalized, and hardly any oxygen requirement was there. So they think this variant is likely to cause more disease to more number of people, but less severe disease.
Right, that's extremely reassuring, Dr. Yatin Mehta. That will, of course, ease out a lot of concerns and allay fears that as of now, as of date, the symptoms are mild, the severity is not a major concern. Yes, we are still waiting for more data to establish the salient features of this new variant. We still don't know enough about it. Appreciate your joining us, Dr. Yatin Mehta, this evening.